Well, real quickly, before we go, we have 12 minutes. We're going to cover a third church, Pergamos. Let's go to verse 12 of chapter 2. And to the angel of the church in Pergamos write, "These things says he who has the sharp, two-edged sword." Look what he says, verse 13. "I know your works. I know where you dwell." Remember, I told you that. Jesus knows our DNA. He knows our address. Where Satan's throne is. Whoa, that's interesting. Satan's throne is a literal archaeological place. It's right there. There was a structure there. It was the temple of Zeus. The throne of king of the gods, Zeus, that they built to honor Zeus. And guess why it's not under those trees now? Hitler had his soldiers take it down and take it to Berlin because Hitler was so involved with the occult. He wanted the throne of Satan. But right there where those two trees are is where it was. And look at this. Where Satan's throne, the throne of Zeus is. "And you hold fast to my name and did not deny the faith, even in days in which Antipas, my faithful martyr, was killed among you." Do you know how Antipas was killed in that city? It's in church history, in Fox's Book of Martyrs. They built a great big brass bull god, Mithras, built a fire under it. Well, first they built it, it was hollow, and it had a door, and they put Antipas in there, and they shut the door and locked it. Then they built a fire underneath, and that's how they burned people. They cooked them, actually. They didn't burn them alive. They were cooked inside the brass bull crematorium, or whatever they called it. And Antipas died. He was faithful. But notice what it says at the end of verse 13. It starts with Satan's throne. What does it say at the end of verse 13? "Who was killed among you where Satan dwells." So there's a lot of truths to think about this. Number one, let's think about where these people lived. They lived, down here is Pergamos, up there is the theater, massive forum area, throne of Satan. But what Pergamos is about is these people were in danger. Why? Because they were not resisting sin. The church at Pergamos was sitting on top of a nuclear sin reactor. They lived where Satan's throne was. Now you say, wait a minute, what is Satan's throne? Did you know Satan is not omnipresent like God? Satan is somewhere right now. I don't think he's here. I don't think we're important enough, but he's probably involved with something with Christianity, but I don't think he's here. His demons are, but he's not, because he can only be in one place at a time. He moves around a lot, but he's not right here, right now, I don't think. But his headquarters in the first century during the late 90s was right here. He liked that throne. And the people came there to worship Zeus, and I can just imagine Satan being there and just enjoying that, all that worship. That's what he wants anyway. And he is the king of all the gods because he is the false god and the king of all the false gods. So they were living in a nuclear sin reactor where Satan's throne was. It would be like the 20-kilometer radius zone around Fukishima. Do you remember 15 years ago in Japan, an earthquake shook a reactor and it spilled and all that radioactivity went out, and it was so sad we could watch it on TV, all the Japanese engineers that died trying to stop the radiation leak because radiation is so bad. That's what it was like in Smyrna. Sin is like radiation, and if you get comfortable around it, you get weakened by it. Satan's throne was pumping out wave after wave of marrow-shriveling radiation. And what happened was, Pergamos developed immunity problems. What do I mean by that? Well, Pergamos, our spiritual immunity is compromised when we as believers, as God's people, are comfortable around what God hates. Look at this. "But I have," verse 14 of chapter 2, "a few things against you, because you have there those who hold the doctrine of Balaam." That's negative, very bad. "He taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the children of Israel." What did he do? "To eat things sacrificed to idols and commit sexual immorality." And not only that, verse 15, "You have there those who hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which things I hate." That's the second time he said that he hates that group, their false teaching. And do you know what the Lord is saying? You are comfortable around false teachers and sinful conduct in the church.